Live with Tao. Lalaji Birth Mysteries explained. It is said that the birth of Lalaji was predicted long before by the 33rd Sheikh Hazrat Abul Hasan Nasirabadi. Then, when the time for his advent was near, a blanket wrapped mystic appeared at the doorstep of Durga Devi, Lalaji's mother. Who is this blanket wrapped mystic who, on appearing at the doorstep, asks for food? Only here we stop. First thing that I had mentioned earlier, no prediction can be possible or made. It is irrelevant. There are two sides of the same coin. First is the master who makes a promise that I will assume the birth again. Only for that person a prediction can be made. It can be understood by a simple example. You are living in a particular country. I made a promise to you that I will visit you next year. So as the time of my visit comes nearer and nearer, the arrangements will start making. You will start making all the arrangements for my visit. So then a forecast comes in that matter. So Hazrat Abul Hasan Nasirabadi saw it was the Mughal influence, the Mughal Empire was in decline, the influence was declining, more people from other religious sects, Hindus, were approaching the sheikhs, and the incidents took place. Hazrat Mazhar Mirza ne jana and his sheikh. From then the things started changing. So this blanket wrapped mystic, who was this blanket wrapped mystic who was never seen before and never seen afterwards? You have to understand one thing. When an individual attains to enlightenment, or in Sufi terminology, the aspect of enlightenment is when the drop merges into the ocean, fana, and when the ocean merges into the drop. So there are two stages, fana and baka. So fana is of two types, fana fuel sheikh and fana fuel murid. The murid dissolves in the sheikh, that is drop merging into the ocean, and simultaneously the other side of that is ocean becomes drop, fana fuel murid. And when these two incidents complete, two aspects is complete, that is known as total fana, then comes baka. And it is in that state every individual who is awakened attains to this state of fana and baka. Then he is aware of things that are happening which humanity, the man who does not understand, consider as mysteries. So the appearance of the blanket wrapped mystic was nothing else but Hazrat Sheikh Abul Hasan Nasir Abadi, who appeared as mystic, as a blanket wrapped mystic, to complete that process. There are many incidents that happened. It is about the 23rd Sheikh of Naqshbandi Tariqat, who was the first who was sent by his Sheikh Hazrat Amkan Ki Raziyallahu Ta'ala Unu to India. His name was Hazrat Baqi-ullah Rahmatullah Alayhi. One day while he was having a talk, a person asked, what is the difference between fana and baka? So the Sheikh said, one who comes to offer my namaz-e-janaza, you ask him this question. Time went on. The person from time to time remembered that. Then it happened, he came to know, he heard that Hazrat Baqi-ullah entered into cosmic womb or risal farma gaya. Then for his preparations were made for his namaz-e-janaza. A person came with face covered. It can be with his turban or with a mask, and he came riding the horse. He offered namaz-e-janaza for Hazrat Baqi-ullah and was pacing, going back. The man remembered that and he held on the reins of the horse and he said, Hazrat Baqi-ullah had told me, the person who offers my namaz-e-janaza, you ask him this question. He raised his cover from that was covering his face. It was Hazrat Baqi-ullah Raziyallahu Ta'ala. He said, the one whose namaz-e-janaza I offered was fana, and the one who offered namaz-e-janaza is baka. Simultaneously it happened. So although this is how it happens. This, in general terminology, we call it astral traveling. At times people come to me and they say, I do astral traveling. The person is saying, the master does not deny or anything, he knows the truth. So he just let it happen. So these are the two stages. The moment one attains to enlightenment, the fana and baka becomes very easy. It is like you can frequently attain to that state. It's not that master is doing it. It is happening through him. He is an instrument. And he is aware while it is happening, and he is aware when it happens. So Hazrat Abul Hasan Nasir Abadi, he made the prediction. It was his responsibility to see, to prepare the womb. So Durga Devi was a pious lady, very religious, coming from the Hindu background. So reading the Ramcharitmanas, the portrayal of Ram, and going to the regular communes of the saints was her pastime. Her husband, Chaudhry Harvaksh Rai, was at a high post, but he was involved in drinking, eating, and all these kind of activities. Durga Devi's kitchen was separate. So when this blanket wrapped mystic, Sheikh Abul Hasan Nasir Abadi, in that garb appeared and asked for fish. The Durga Devi's kitchen was vegetarian, there was no talk of meat, so she asked her brother-in-law to inquire if fish is available in her husband's kitchen. So it came to know that someone has sent a special offer of fish that has been prepared specifically spicy. So she offered that to the blanket wrapped sheikh along with puris, puffed Indian bread. And he ate. So she had a maid who was very dedicated. He asked the sheikh, she asked, my madam has everything. She doesn't have children. If you can bless her with children, it will be a great benediction. And he loudly said, Ek, do, and disappeared in the thin air. Since it was the estate of Baqa of Hazrat Abul Hasan Nasir Abadi, it cannot be known where that disappeared. Many incidents like these I can narrate, and it happens in the life of the masters. Some time ago, one of my friend who is initiated by Sheikh Nazim Adil of Naqshbandi Hakini order of Cyprus was visiting the shrine of Hazrat Ubaidullah Ehrar. He is the very important Sheikh of Naqshbandi order. He told me, so I said, when you are going, take me with you. So he said, okay. He went to the shrine, he paid the obeisance at the tomb. Behind that there was a wall, and on the other side was a Muslim graveyard. He saw a mad-looking man was sitting there, and while this person from Washington DC, Asif, was in meditation, the mad-looking person came and sat next to him during the Marakba. He offered Surah Fatiha, and thereafter he carried him to the inner sanctorium known as Chilla, the room where Hazrat Ubaidullah used to meditate, and there again did the meditation and raktas, and thereafter in a blink the man disappeared in the thin air. Thereafter, when on return Asif told me, so I said it was Hazrat Ubaidullah Ehrar who gave you the presence, his presence for you. He was available to you for that moment. Another incident happened when Sheikh Brij Lal entered into Samadhi in Mumbai, and his body was to be brought to Lucknow. There was no direct train between Lucknow and Mumbai that time. So the connecting train has to be from the Jhansi junction. So it happened, a group of people, Omkarnath, my uncle, my father Lakshmi Sahai, and one other family member, the three of them went to bring the body of Sheikh Brij Lal, was handed over to him at the Jhansi junction. So while he was going, he was sitting, Omkarnath, my uncle was sitting, then the people who was with him said, you'd better take a sleep, and you have a long days. So he sat, he went to take a nap, and in the nap he saw Sheikh Brij Lal appeared. He said, why are you worried? I was just sitting next to you. While Sheikh Omkarnath was sitting on the the lower seat, a man came and sat next to him and started consoling, a father-like presence. So when he saw that vision, he immediately got up and asked everyone where that gentleman who was sitting here is gone. The train did not stop and nobody knows where that person has disappeared. This was the state of fana and baka. Sheikh Brijmohan Lal had attained fana, so through the other realm, other shore of enlightenment, baka. Because enlightenment, the river of consciousness cannot flow without two shores. Fana is one shore, baka is another shore. Fana is of two types, fana fuel murid, fana fuel sheikh and fana fuel murid. And this is baka bi Allah. You live by the divine will. Another incident happened. The number of incidents happened with the masters, between disciples. I recall with Sheikh Onkar Nath. It happened that a person came with the final relics of his father, who was a devotee of Sheikh Brijmohan Lal, who passed away, and he came to the city of Kanpur where Sheikh Onkar Nath lived, and somebody told him, you cannot carry the relics of a person to somebody's house. So better you submerge into the river Ganges that flowed in Kanpur before you go to this place. So he went there. So riding the three-wheeler rickshaw, the man driven, and he fell from there. So he got his shoulder dislocated. All of a sudden, a person appeared from nowhere. He said, go to, he called a particular name, you go to Kallu Pahalwan. Kallu was the name, Pahalwan means a strong man, the wrestler type. He will fix your shoulder. But he did not pay attention. He went and did, the pain continued. The same time that person again appeared, he said, I told you to go to Kallu Pahalwan, go immediately. So he went, and he, being the chiropractor, the shoulder was, dislocation of the shoulder was fixed. After that he came to the home, and I was that time kind of a security guard. Everyone will come through me because I was the gatekeeper, living with my uncle. So he told me this incident. I said this was nothing else but the Sheikh himself. And this is baka. So the master are aware that it happens, and those who are very close to him, they know that it is this. The moment he said, I said, this is not nobody else but Sheikh Onkar Nath, who appeared to you in that vision and told you that. Many incidents like that. So Hazrat Abul Hasan Nasir Abadi appeared at the doorstep because he made the prediction. Before that, Lalaji in the past life, which was between 300 to 325 years back, made a promise that I will come back again. Now the time was drawing near for his presence, so somebody has to make the arrangements. A person like Lalaji or of that nature cannot enter an ordinary womb, because a person who is enlightened, has attained to a higher consciousness, ordinary womb that we see around is not suitable. When you look at the birth of Gautam Buddha, look at the birth of Ubaidullah Arar, look at the birth of Ram Krishna Paramhans, look at the womb of Lalaji's mother, look at the womb that was created for the birth of Sheikh Brij Mohan Lal. All these has to be prepared, because through their womb ordinary consciousness or cannot enter and be born as a living being. So master, somebody has to make the preparation. For the birth of Lalaji, it was the responsibility of Abul Hasan Nasirabadi to make the necessary arrangements. Durga Devi was pious and very religious and devoted person, so she was doing her own preparation. And that appearance of Sheikh, the blanket wrapped mystic, was the final to prepare. And then he blessed that 2 children, 2 sons will be born. Whereas in case of Brij Mohan Lal, it was totally a different kind of a thing. It was that Chachaji did not have any children, so his in-laws were carrying him to Rameshwaram, the holy place of Hindus in South India, and it was said, it was the belief of Hindus that whenever anyone offers prayers at Rameshwaram, his wish is fulfilled. Same time, Lalaji Sheikh Maulana Fazl Ahmad Khan came, and seeing everything, he inquired, what is this all going on arrangement? So with tears in his eyes, Lalaji said, Hazrat, Nanne, as he used to call him lovingly, he doesn't have children. So his in-laws are taking him to Rameshwaram for prayer. So Hazrat Maulana Fazl Ahmad Khan asked for water in a bowl. So always the energy is transferred by the Sheikh in a metal cup. And the metal is a conductor of the energy, which is electricity in one form. And he said the God that is there is here also. Uski kudrat mahdood nahi hai. His energy field is not restricted to any particular place or space. Once you are aware, you can feel it anywhere, wherever you are. Wherever you are, you can feel it. And he cast his vision, his energy field into the water in the cup and told Lalaji to take it to the Beti, the Lalaji Brij Mohan Lal's mother, and give it to her. When after some time there was a danger of miscarriage, the message was sent by Lalaji. The distance between Fatehgarh and where Maulana Fazl Ahmad Khan used to live was 3 miles. So the one devoted servant who stayed at the house of Lalaji, they used to call him respectfully Chittar Kahar. Kahar means servant. Chittar was his name. So it was with respect. The younger ones used to call him out of respect by different salutation, different ways. He carried it, and when the message reached, he sent a reply immediately. When God has accepted the prayer of this humble servant, there should be no fear of any kind. I'll be blessed with a grandchild, and I name his Brij Mohan Lal. This was the Fana and Baka. So Abul Hasan Nasirabadi made the final arrangement for the advent of, because there was no sheikh around Brij Mohan Lal, around Lalaji and Chachaji, as it was in the case of the birth of Brij Mohan Lal. So the arrangement was to be made differently, and the arrangement as it was made, thereafter Lalaji and Chachaji, the 2 brothers, were born. 18, the 2nd of February 1873, Lalaji was born. 2.5 years after, 7th of October 1857, his younger brother Raghuvar was born. The mother nourished and nurtured and cared for the two children up to the age of 7. When Lalaji attained the age of 7, his mother passed away. Thereafter, Lalaji says, at the age of 17, the God took care of me through my mother, the first glance, the seed of awakening was sowed in me in the womb of the mother and in the company of my mother, and that warmth nourished and nurtured for 7 years. Thereafter, existence make me surrender to Mujassim, Tariqe Marfat. These are the different salutations for the Master. In the company of Hazrat Abul Hasan, Hazrat Maulana Fazl Ahmad Khan, who nourished and nurtured, and from the very beginning he sowed, he infused into my ears, your life is for the manifestation of truth. Your life is for the manifestation of truth. And thus the mystery and the fish lives in the ocean. Fish lives in ocean. It cannot exist outside. There is amphibian, the creatures who live in ocean as well as on earth. But the fish, the way it grows, there are different stages. And if you look clearly, the fetus growing into the womb, it is like that. The shapes, the different stages of its growth is like what we give example with tadpole. These are the initial forming stages of the growth of the fish. And fish knows nothing else. Fish, the above is this water, below is the water, inside is the water. It is symbolic. A man of awareness lives in the ocean of consciousness. Consciousness surrounds him. It is above him, it is below him. He drinks consciousness. He feeds on consciousness. And everything is consciousness's way of nourishment for him. Just as fish draws everything nourishment, not from outside, but through the consciousness. When you keep the fish in the water tank, fish tank, the feed is thrown into the water, and whatsoever thrown into the water, which is like consciousness for the fish, fish eats that alone. Whatsoever is provided to the fish through the consciousness, the water of consciousness, it lives on and feeds on. An awakened one feeds on. Through the consciousness becomes his life force, the solid food, the liquid. So it is transformed. Consciousness is his food, living food. This is why the significance of fish, asking for the fish, and 2 fish was offered to him. So 2 fish were representing the birth of Lalaji and his younger brother Chachaji. These 2 were very important. So these were the mysteries, At that time, when Sheikh Brij Mohan Lal was writing the life history, the biography of Lalaji and Chachaji, there was no need for unraveling these mysteries. But as time goes on, it becomes relevant, and it comes the responsibility of next one who's coming, because the past guides the present. The past masters are my guidance and I'm inspiration. The present inspires the others. The present inspires the future. Those who come after me, the present master is inspiration for them, because he bridges the past and the present. Past that is gone in the womb of the time, and the present that is yet to evolve out of the womb of time. He connects the two. So at times it becomes relevant to explain that this is the unraveling the mysteries of the birth of Lalaji. As this is the weekend, Saturday, Sunday and Monday, when I will speak on various aspects to unravel the mysteries of Lalaji, I will explain tomorrow's session the enlightenment of Lalaji. Enlightenment as such, the concept exists in other paths, Buddhism and so, does not exist in Sufism or Islam. But if you understand what enlightenment really means, then you know it does exist there. So that I will explain, and then another session will come, the meeting between Lalaji and Sheikh Maulana Fazl Ahmad Khan. That will be presented under the series Meeting the Incredible by another person of German origin, Nivedita. She has presented yesterday's the tribute to Lalaji under the series Meeting the Incredibles. So enough for now.